Why not keep talking about comedies in the 2010s? Once again, I missed The Good Place when it was on. What happened with that one was it came out in a time when I didn't have a reliable way of watching weekly TV shows. So that meant that when I found out about one, I had to wait for Netflix to stream it. And by then, I'd usually forgotten about it. My wife watched The Good Place without me, and that happened a lot between 2015 and 2019 because I had to go to work and she got bored during kids' nap time. But she didn't finish the series, so we decided to give it a rewatch. As a Christian, it didn't make me mad. It made me sad. And it made me sad because the writers were so close to figuring out the truth and just missed it. So close. And then they made themselves look silly because these people who probably consider themselves too smart to believe in the bearded man in the clouds showed that they don't know much about religion. So here's the premise, and there will be hefty spoilers. Kristen Bell wakes up in the Welcome Center for The Good Place and goes through all of her orientation. However, we, the audience, soon find out that there was a mix-up and she is not supposed to be there. They keep calling her the wrong name and referring to things that she didn't do. There was some kind of mix-up, and now she's terrified that they will figure it out and send her to the bad place. She gets someone there to help maybe make her into a good person so she won't get caught and sent to the bad place. Things go crazy, and she eventually discovers that there wasn't a mistake. She actually is in the bad place. There are 4 other people there with her, and everyone else is a demon pretending to be human. One demon, Michael, came up with the revolutionary idea of convincing people that they are in the good place and then just letting them torture each other for eternity. He wants to convince other demons that his plan can work. So when they figure out that they're not in the good place, he wipes their minds and starts over because his plan is kind of contingent on them not knowing that they're in the bad place. But they keep figuring out, and he keeps wiping them over and over and over again. There are many, many restarts. This eventually leads to the discovery that these 4 people always became better people during their time together. So they're given the chance to prove that maybe they'd earn a spot in the good place if they had lived longer and were also allowed to meet each other on Earth. Michael, throughout all this, gets attached to them, and he starts kind of helping them out in what they're trying to do. At one point, they break into the spiritual realm's goodness weighing station to see if they've improved, only to find out that not only have they not improved, but their additional time on Earth has significantly lowered all of their scores, and the gap is absolutely insurmountable. They start looking into it and discover something that has been completely overlooked. No one has managed to get into the good place for 500 years. And the reason for that is as the world got more interconnected, it was harder to not do bad things because you might have been doing good, but just via aspects of your life, you're inadvertently aiding in bad things. The extreme example is your favorite laundromat is a mob front. You didn't know that, but your continued use of the laundromat is helping fund human suffering. Because of this, no one can ever be good enough. They decide that the system is broken and something needs to change. This is the point that, as a Christian, I got sad. They were so close. So close to the truth. No one can ever be good enough. Why? Because there is no good enough. There is the standard for heaven, which is perfection for your entire life. And there's everything else, and no one has ever achieved perfection. I paused the show and sighed, knowing they weren't going to get there. They weren't going to have the creator of the universe, the person who not only set the standard, but is the standard, come to Earth and take humanity's punishment so we can go to the good place and spend forever with him. I knew it wouldn't happen because I know Hollywood, and they utterly reject that as a possibility, even when writing a show with such an absurd and fantastical series of circumstances. But with what they went with, they may not actually know that that is what Christians believe. You see, they begin a revolutionary new program for departed souls. After they die, humans are put into a smaller secondary world where they are able to learn how to be better people. Then they die again, get a report card on how they did, and are sent back to the secondary world with the knowledge that they gained from their report card allowing them to get better and better and better until they are good enough for the good place. This is a brand new idea of a third afterlife where you work through and move past your sins. I'm Protestant, so this is not part of my belief system, but millions of Catholics do believe in the idea of purgatory. It's a pretty big part of their sect. And I believe that they are the largest sect of Christianity in the world. This honestly felt absurd when I was watching it. The show is full of interesting debates about morality from Kant, Nietzsche, Bentham, Mill, Scanlon, Aristotle, Plato, Hume, and Kierkegaard. Lewis doesn't get name-checked or quoted because people just refuse to accept that he may have been the most brilliant philosopher of the 20th century, because that would mean Christians were right about something. But with all of the research and knowledge about some pretty weighty topics that went into writing this, how the crap do you write a conclusion where you think you've made up purgatory? This is going to be a weird thing for me. I have something to say to the writers. I know you all probably consider yourselves atheists, and you probably think that you're too smart for religion. But you demonstrated on a national level that you are, to make up a term, religiously illiterate. You may think that you're too smart to believe, but you have clearly done no research into what followers of one of the world's most prominent religions believe. You're lazy. You just decided that you don't believe what you think other people believe without looking into what that actually is. You are not alone here. Richard Dawkins is much smarter than I am about science, but anytime he actually writes or talks about religious tenets, not about his scientific claims against the existence of God, but what religious people actually believe, he reveals himself to be shockingly ignorant. Given the presumed ages of the Good Places writers, I'd be willing to guess that a lot of their religious knowledge came from writers like Dawkins, and that is not a good place. That is not a good place to get that kind of information. Anyway, that's all that I wanted to say. I was shocked at how ignorant of what I consider to be basic information a show that tried to be intellectual was. Do with that what you will. You'll see me next time if you subscribe.